It's Wednesday, March 1, and time for your Barbados Today morning update. Thanks for joining us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. We begin with confirmation from former Prime Minister Owen Arthur that he was approached by Finance Minister Chris Sinclair to serve as Chief Economic Advisor on the government's restructured National Economic Council. On Monday, Sinclair announced that a Council of Economic Advisors made up of experienced Barbadians was being established, but he neither confirmed nor denied that Arthur was among the pending appointments. However, Arthur, a former finance minister who has been traveling the region for the past several months, giving advice on economic matters, tells Barbados Today he could hardly refuse his own country's appeal for help.
I could not possibly, therefore, be giving advice to other people and say no to a good and honest overture to me to give advice to the government of Barbados. So, yes, I can confirm that I have been approached by Mr. Sinclair. Yes, I can confirm that I told him that I would be willing to serve. I just want to say this now. Yesterday, having heard what Mr. Sinclair said, has raised a number of concerns to me. It won't stop me from serving, but there are a number of concerns. First of all, I'm now made aware from discussion with some of Mr. Sinclair's colleagues that while Mr. Sinclair has confirmed, has approached me, he has not approached his cabinet colleagues. And to have something like this work successfully and not be a botched job, Chris has to consult with his colleagues. And secondly, we have to be clear as to what a consultative group could possibly do at this time.
He, however, questioned government's delay in putting the consultative team together, stating that with the estimates of expenditure coming next week, time was of the essence.
Those estimates of expenditure embodies government financial policies and programs for the coming fiscal year. A consultative group that would be put in place now clearly would not be a consultative group to advise as to what is or should be done, but merely a group that could at best advise as to how to implement the policies in the estimates. Secondly, if Mr. Sinclair intends to have other policies pursued by way of what we call the budget, he will have then to come later in the year and present policies that may be at variance with what he will present in March, which could only possibly lead to further confusion.
The National Union of Public Workers says it will continue fighting for a double-digit increase in salary for public workers. This despite Monday's comments by the finance minister that the country is still facing a stubborn fiscal deficit and dwindling foreign reserves. However, this does not deter NUPW President Akani McDowell, who said he did not get the impression from Sinclair's report that the economy was facing any sort of economic turmoil. In fact, he tells Barbados Today government's recent decision to restore the 10% taken from the salaries of parliamentarians back in 2014 shows that the front of Stewart administration is in a position to meet the union's demands.
It gives us even more reason to ask for a salary increase for public servants, notwithstanding the fact that I should take the temperature not only from the Minister of Finance, but from all of the ministers in government. When they agreed to restore their salary to 10%, it said to me that there was enough money not only to pay themselves, but to pay the people who they were meant to serve.
The legal troubles of Rastafarian parents Charles Lashley and his partner Kim Jackman are now over. Yesterday, High Court Justice Cecil McCarthy discontinued an application brought by the Child Care Board, which was seeking to make the couple's children wards of the court. The CCB's case came after the parents were found guilty back in September 2016 of breaching Section 41, Clause B of the Education Act, Chapter 41, on the grounds that there was no record of their two children, a boy and a girl, both under the age of 12, ever attending formal classes. However, the parents were later allowed to walk free. Their lawyer, Ajamu Boadi, said the judge discontinued the application on the basis that the Ministry of Education had approved an application for homeschooling issued by the parents earlier this month. Yellow House are the new champions of Queen's College Interhouse Sports. There was no clear winner initially on the track as the battle went right down to the very end at the National Stadium yesterday, with neither the Yellow Panthers, who scored 1,019 points, nor Blue Vex House, who finished second with 976 points, knowing who had won until the final results were announced. Rounding out the other four positions were Greenhouse Dragons with 851 points in third position. Fourth were Purple House Pirates on 695. Orange House Cheetahs tallied 656 points for fifth place. And Red House Raptors 640 points. They were in sixth position.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Get your paper, get your paper. Only 225, 220. Who? For what? That's the Bear Stare News. I don't read about that from Barbados today since last night. That can't only can't do. 220. Who?
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To news from our regional neighbors now, we head to St. Lucia, where a war of words erupts between the Craft and Dry Goods Vendors Association and the mayor of Castries. It comes over allegations that vendors plying their trade in the market located in the heart of the city have been illegally sourcing electricity. More in this report from HTS News Force.
The Vendors Association has denied claims that vendors are sourcing electricity illegally. On Monday, Castries Mayor Peterson Francis issued a warning to vendors and tenants of the CCC over the alleged illegal connections, advising that they discontinue the practice. But the president of the association, Peter Ras Ipa Isaac, has described the statements as dangerous and irresponsible. Furthermore, he will not instruct vendors to heed the mayor's warnings.
So if your people are doing illegal connections and have illegal outlets in the booth, then he could talk about that. But without the evidence to show that people are doing that, then what he's doing is irresponsible and dangerous statement, especially carte blanchely trying to say that vendors at the vendors arcade are stealing electricity. I find this statement very, well, I wouldn't say ridiculous, but it's very irresponsible.
And finally, Russia and China veto a UN resolution to impose sanctions on Syria over the allegations that they were using chemical weapons. It is the seventh time Russia has blocked a UN Security Council resolution to protect the Syrian government. The vote was 9 in favor, 3 against, that included Russia and China, and 3 abstentions. U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, described the vetoes as a sad day on the Security Council.
Russia and China made an outrageous and indefensible choice today. They refused to hold Bashar al-Assad's regime accountable for the use of chemical weapons. The Security Council unanimously agreed to set up the joint investigative mechanism to answer this obvious question. If chemical weapon attacks are happening in Syria, who is involved? Everyone on this council, including Russia, including China, said at that time they wanted to know who used chemical weapons. The question was answered. However, Russia and China didn't like the answer.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Or you can tune in to Channel 99 on Flow TV or Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good morning.